The last time I did a spread as detailed as this, it was in November of last year, which felt like another completing of a cycle in itself, really the end of 2023. Although we weren't yet to the end of December, it felt like things were closing down and we were really galvanizing, I think was the key word then, for the year to come and what was going to unfold. So, full moon February 2024, and it feels like there is a shift. There feels like there's a shift from a lot of the energetics of that period of time from December, January, February through to now. So let me come straight to the cards. It's the Wildwood Tarot deck. It's beautiful. You're here, so you'll know it. So at the base, I do a 7-card spread, and so at the base of those cards is the salmon. So the sacred salmon, representing that sense of struggle but towards destiny, swimming upstream, completing its life cycle. And that resonates then with some of the other cards as it completes its life cycle. But there is a huge sense of struggle. And that is at the base of this spread. So that sense of struggle perhaps refers to what this previous cycle has felt like. That there has been, and for you, I mean, I use the word struggle. Sometimes that swimming upstream, sometimes that working towards destiny when done with focus can be done with grace and diligence and an acceptance of that struggle because it's what is meant to be. At the top of the spread, which is where we see the potential for this situation, the essence of this spread and this cycle, is the World Tree. This card is beautiful. You can see that the 4 seasons are all represented there, that it's a really established ancient crowned oak. And in the front of it, the labyrinth that leads up to this new doorway. The labyrinth, again, speaking to that sense of inner workings, working something out within, but that has now arrived at this new doorway. That's arrived at this new doorway, and the cycle is complete. The 4 seasons are complete. The tree's roots are deep. The journey to the end of the labyrinth has happened, and you have arrived. So, really beautiful one to reflect on. Which cycle have you completed, or which cycle have you completed for this time around in the last 3 months? Moving up the tree spreads to look at what we might be avoiding or what we might be reticent to engage with is this card, King of Bows. And the King of Bows is, the bows is the suit of the summertime. So again, a sense of completion and fullness about it. This card talks about power. It talks about power waking up. So there's a sense of the warmth of the new sun waking up this serpentine energy. For some, you might see that as Kundalini energy. This is quite a masculine representation of that serpentine energy. And you can see that it is actually, there's a kind of a power struggle between the singular and the collective. And this comes through really strongly for me, that sense of this chapter is about that relationship between the singular and collective. So if something is waking up within us, if a power is waking up within us, how does that relate to the collective? How does that help us serve the collective? Where do we want to sit in that space with power? How do we want to express the power that we are sensing waking up? So there's a kind of struggle, whether you see that as internal or external. There is a sense of, again, like the labyrinth image, a sense of like inner working out of what that is going to mean looking ahead into this next chapter or into this next cycle, that there is sovereignty, that there is power. And the snake is a super important symbol of deep knowing, ancient Akashic knowing, and that is awakening. And now what? Where does that power become utilized in this next chapter? How is it used? At the moving up again to the top of the spread, looking at what is unfolding at this time is this beautiful card of a singular feminine figure dancing in ecstasy. And I'm just going to let you absorb that card and take what you will from it. It's a really dynamic card. It sits in the suit of vessels, which is in the suit of autumn, which is about letting go and release. It's also in the element of water, which is tears as well as joy, and the all of the moods of waters, the oceans and the lakes and the turbulence and the stillness and the peace and the depth. And this card within this spread, for me, is speaking to this sense of that waking up of inner knowing, that moment of feeling that you will dance in the ecstasy of total knowing, of total clarity of insight, of feeling confident in your insight, in your intuition, of being connected to higher beings, of being connected to the stars, the astral planes, and for that to be joyful, this is so far beyond struggle in this card. This is about dancing with the chaos of life. This is about embracing and being in flow and in total connection with the mystery. And so coming then to these cards that sit then opposite each other in this spread, which are the card of exploitation in the suit of stones and the card of the green woman, and they couldn't be more opposite. So this is our cards of our balance, moving away from, moving towards, embracing, letting go. And this is really interesting card because I find myself like repelled by this card because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like it. Loads of the cards in the deck are beautiful, so I really notice that feeling and then really need to engage that. I sat with this card for a long time. And for me, this card is sitting with, and by all means reach out. We can talk more about just this card because it's got so much about it within the context of this spread, and sitting with that sense of the tussle of power and how we sit with power and what we do with this power. This card is asking us to talk, to think about how we feel about ourselves being exploited. How far are we going to be pushed? At what point is our backstop? Where is our no? At what point are we going to, where is that power going to rise up and be expressed? It does call us into looking at the exploitation of our resources, excess, exploitation of others. This absolutely calls ourselves into connection with the collective and where we're at this point, and what part we play in that as an individual, what part we play in that dynamic with the collective. How much are we taking? How much are we giving? How much will we allow to be taken from ourselves? And how will we step up when we see others exploited as well? So this is a real call to arms card for deep self-reflection, which we see reflected in the labyrinth at the foot of the world tree, which we see reflected in the serpents, in the card of the adder, and how we're going to use this power, and what this isn't suddenly we're comfortable with that power, but there's a sense of what are we going to do with this power. And in that, we then move to the central two cards of the spread. And the first one I will come to is balance. I wasn't sure which one I was going to go first with there. We're going to go to balance. The way through the woods is these two dragons, the colour of ash and smoke and the colour of fire and blood, absolutely locked in upon a deeply rooted ancient tree that is etched with the faces of the ancestors, and they are met and they are equal, but it is a hard won balance, but it is a balance and it is equality. This is about healing. This is about connection to nature. It's about honouring the ancestors and honouring the other, both within and without. And this is at the point in the spread which we call the way through the woods. So this is what we're working with. This is the energy that we're employing to find our way, navigate our way through this next chapter. Hard won balance through those roots that I have spoken to about power and allowing for the inner conversation around power, whilst also staying deeply connected to our roots, to heaven, to earth, to intuition. And finally at the centre, sorry, my cat is out the window, I need to let her in. At the centre, the heart of this spread is bear. I have a really strong connection to bear. It was really beautiful that bear came up in the heart of this particular spread. So bear is that queen of stones. Stones is the suit of the winter time. So this is the winter time, and the suit of stones are all about introspection. They're about the dream time. They're about deep inner knowing. But bear is the queen of this space. The queen of the space between here and there. Their special move is the dream time, is the instinct that they rely on to know when it's time to step into the world once more, to step into the fray. They come with super strength that is powerful and gentle. This card speaks to autonomy, sovereignty, deep inner knowing, but it also comes with a sense of protection for the collective, devotion. Bear is devoted, mama bear energy as well. And this is the heart of this spread at this time. I hope that gives you some connection to this moment and some reflections that are fruitful for you. Thank you for watching so far. I'm going to go and let my cat in.